everyone, and welcome to Between Realities, to the Between Realities VR podcast.
Yes, sir.
That's what this is.
Yes,
this
it is.
The Between Realities VR podcast, and we are live here on a Wednesday for our very first bonus episode of season 4.
Heck yeah.
We did our first episode on Friday, and we're like, nah, we're not waiting for no bonus episodes this season, this time around. We're doing it right away. Boom. We got into this thing. Wednesday, we are here, and thank you guys for joining us so much. We see that we already have a couple of our closest and dearest friends in the chat with us. I saw Space Denizen was in the chat like 2 days ago. Like as soon as this link went live, he's like, yo, what's up? You know, so I can't see that anymore, but I remember it.
Yeah.
So thanks for being in there. Sweaty
it's weird
Nugget.
to keep that stuff in there.
I know, right?
Do that.
It should.
Oh,
but yeah, I was saying Sweaty Nug, of course, here.
What's up, buddy?
JJ, the Nug. He's in the house and he's always here for us, and we love him. Z Storm is here. Thanks, Z, for joining us today on our bonus episode day. Rock versus Reality is in the house. RobynzReality is in the house.
It's a lot of reality going on.
Rock versus reality.
Between realities?
It is, yeah. Virtual reality is what we're here to talk about. So thank you guys here for joining us. Lissa VR is here. Duty Does, one of our dearest fans, is here. Thanks, Duty, for being here as well. Gamertag VR, of course, saying hello, but it's late over there. You know, we know some of these midday episodes are not going to be ideal for live attendance when it comes to our overseas friends.
Yeah, finding that sweet spot for time for everyone is really hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're going to move things around a little bit. We wanted to experiment with season 4. If it doesn't work out the way we wanted to, we'll move things around again. And as always, feel free to reach out and let us know what you would prefer. And, of course, we'll take it with a grain of salt, but we will take it. Ashley's here. What's up, Ashley? Thanks for joining us. MN Zeba. MN Zeba? MN Zeba. What's up, Zeba? Thanks for being here. Dr. Oculus is here. What's up, Dr.
What's
Oculus?
up, Doc?
Congratulations on getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube
Heck
recently.
yeah. Good job, bro.
For crushing it with Woozer as well. Oh, Space Denizen. There he is. Welcome.
What's up, dude?
So today's bonus episode is a very exciting one. We're going to be talking to a group of developers from a handful of different games, all of which are being featured in today's sponsors event. That's right. The Summer Games from Virtual Athletics League are here. Let's hear from our sponsor, everybody, VAL.
Welcome to the VR Summer Games.
Hey y'all, Savox here. Welcome to the VR Summer Games.
Welcome to the VR Summer Games.
The Virtual Athletics League Summer Games have been going on since August 21st and are going up through this weekend, September 12th being the last day to participate. So we're getting in right at the finish line here, but there's still time to make something happen. There are over 20 VR games that are participating, and there's a prize pool that is valued at over $20,000.
Boom.
So I assume that includes gear, accessories, you know, stuff like that, but also cash. So
Cold hard cash.
get in there.
And that trailer, right? That might be my new favorite jam. That was a hype trailer.
It's pretty hype.
Good stuff.
It is pretty hype. Dance Collider is in there, VR Workout, VR Skater. They're doing a Blade and Sorcery content creator talent show, which is pretty cool, right?
Yes.
No high scores in Blade and Sorcery, but I guess like if you're the coolest.
How to kill people in the most stylish, amazing way possible.
Yeah. Dude, Hyperdash Echo Arena, Blast On, Swarm, and a few others who, like we've mentioned, we have developers joining us today to talk about their games and their involvement with VAL. So this is a pretty exciting thing, man. You know, this is one of our most ambitious episodes. We've got a bunch of guests and a lot to do and a lot to talk about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to start getting some of these guys on. Yeah, it's going to be rad, man. Lots of people. Also, like, check out that chat, guys, because there's going to be some codes.
Oh.
Some games.
We
free
have
VR games.
Free game codes, and we urge you guys to take them. We're going to trickle them in and see how quickly you scoop them up, because we don't want them to get lost in the ether or anything. But there are free game codes available today. VR with Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine.
What's up, Jazz?
Thanks for joining us. Obscure Nerd. What's up, dude?
Hey.
Andy. He's in the house
What's
as well.
up?
And Traveling Man is here, too.
Heck yeah.
So if this is your first time catching the podcast, please take a second and preemptively like it. Promise we're not going to do anything that you'll hate. And you can even subscribe too if you like, because we have a lot more planned for season 4. Tons of exciting guests.
Please click that little button. It really does make a big difference to us. It really does.
It does.
Big deal.
Yeah, and we're trying to grow our audience. So get up in here with us.
Heck yeah.
So, what time is it?
It's time to get ill.
Is it time? That's a perfect answer. Why don't we go ahead and see if we can get today's first guest on the horn?
Cool.
So
let me bring our screen down here.
So the game is called Larcenauts, right?
It is.
This is, I would say it's one of the more exciting games that has probably come out into the VR community in the past, few months. Really went hard for that hero shooter, that hero shooter vibe, and I think they did a great job. They launched the game, had a bit of a bumpy road, but I think it's getting better and better and better every single day, and I love to see games like this participating in events. And look who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Greg Corman to Between Realities. He is the founder and engineer over at Impulse Gear.
What's up, Greg?
Hey, Greg.
How are you?
Not too much. Hey, Alex, Kiva. How you doing?
Pretty good, man.
So
Pretty good.
A pleasure and an honor to have you on the show, sir. For those of you who don't have PSVRs out there, Impulse Gear is the studio behind Farpoint, which is one of my favorite VR experiences ever. It was such a great game. Thank you for bringing that game to us.
That game
and of
blew
course,
my mind. I remember firing that game up. I remember those spider things jumping at my face. Like I had to take my headset off a few times and like just breathe. You know what I mean? Like, it was intense and it was so good. Well done.
Yeah, that's it was a really fun game to make, and I'm glad you enjoyed playing.
Do you ever get the aim controller in your hands? When's the last time you used an aim controller? Like, do you miss it? Because I kind of miss using it.
It's great. It's funny. I played Farpoint yesterday.
Nice.
I don't play it much these days, but I actually picked it up and I played through the beginning, and it's still fun. Still holds up. It's awesome.
It is awesome. That boss fight.
And it was on PS Plus a little while ago, which is cool. So we got a lot of new people playing it. So it's cool.
Such a good game, man.
Sweet.
One of my favorite PSVR titles by far.
Right. And I think Larcenauts did a great job of like answering the call for a lot of VR players out there. I think there's a lot of competitive VR gamers who wish they had that like really good, like sink your teeth into it hero shooter. And I would say that Larcenauts has done a great job of fulfilling that and being that for the VR community. When the game came out, of course, it was met with a little bit of resistance, if I can say so. Like people were kind of upset with some of the immersive sprinting things and things like that. What has it been like for you guys after you kind of took some of that initial feedback, and how has that changed the course of development for Larcenauts?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So you're absolutely right. At launch, we had a couple of stumbles, and I think that the feedback from the community was amazing. It was there were some things that people really wanted to see, like manual reload or the immersive sprinting, and we were lucky enough to be able to have this awesome team with us to add those features very quickly in a way that made the game better for everybody. One of the things we wanted to do when we started making Larcenauts was like you mentioned, take what we learned in Farpoint and make a competitive hero shooter for VR. And one of the things that I think is inherently part of that is making that accessible to everybody. So you have a huge amount of people playing, and you have the game set up in a way that people can play the way they want to, but also still be competitive against each other. So when we did things like add manual reload, we still wanted to give people the option to keep the other reload styles in there, because some people prefer that. So yeah, maybe you get a bit of an advantage if you're really fast at doing the manual reload, but you get a bit of an advantage in just the other things you can do instead of reloading by using the automatic reload. And so I think adding those features was the right thing to do, and getting the feedback from the community was the right thing to do. And we were just really happy that we could act on it so quickly.
That's great.
And then, looking at the competitive part of it is really important for us.
That's awesome. I mean, because I started my VR journey on the PSVR, as did a lot of VR enthusiasts now that own PCs and Quest and stuff.
It was the gateway drug.
It really was. Yeah. And, I worked around some of the imperfections of the PSVR setup, but I have always loved the aim controller. Having dual analogs connected to that thing and being able to aim independently is it is how it should be done. And it is so great to be able to use that. And the reason why I bring it up is because I played a ton of Farpoint and I played a ton of Firewall, and I pushed a button to reload for every single one of those matches, and it never bothered me. I had no problem, and I could totally see how somebody could be completely comfortable with just a button automatic reload, boom, because I did it a million times using the aim controller.
Everyone has their preferences, right? And these guys absolutely crushed it by kind of giving the community what they wanted and making an already great game even better, right? Like this game, when you go into it, especially on the Quest, you're like, what? This is a Quest title?
Right.
Where's the PC running this? It looks absolutely amazing. I think it's a fantastic game. I think you guys did a really good job, and you scratched the itch of a genre that everyone really wanted. So props to you guys.
Yeah, there aren't really any hero shooters out there except for Larcenauts in VR, and I think we really wanted to make sure that each one of the heroes was a different experience when you're playing it. So you start out playing Kalima, and she's got 2 SMG. Well, I guess you have to get the 2 SMGs, but she plays completely different than all the other heroes, and that just doesn't exist on VR right now. So,
Right. Yeah. So when you guys made the game, did you imagine Larcenauts would be involved in events like the Summer Games that VAL has put together?
Well, it was always our hope. I think you got to look at you build a game, and you have a really solid idea of what the experience is going to be like and what it can do, and I think just that's always been core to what we wanted to do. Make sure it's competitive, make sure that the team dynamics and team composition, which is a huge part of it. So really finding a good team that you can work well together with is the core of the game, and so it's just a natural fit for something like VAL and the Summer Games, and we're just happy to be a part of it and look at how we can support it more in the future too.
That's great. I love having a role. I really do. I love being on a squad and having my specialty and doing the thing that I know I do best. And I tried that character, I wasn't very good. Oh, I tried this hero, I wasn't very good. And then I sink into one. And it's this is where I need to be, And for me, and I think for a lot of people who play multiplayer VR, they will you kind of have to go in, or I kind of have to go in with my people, I have to hit up Skiva or hit up some of the people who are in our Discord and find a squad, because it's an intimate thing to be side by side brothers in arms, it's almost like you're in a band together, you got to vibe, I don't want to be in there with somebody who I don't vibe with. And I'm wondering, when you go in, when you're playing multiplayer VR, do you have that core squad? Do you try to encourage people to maybe queue up on their own and find new teammates? Where are you at with that?
Wow. So me personally, we can play test every day. So I have the benefit of knowing basically everybody I play with because our team, we it's random teams, but we always are playing. And so you're always in there with your squad,
Nice.
no matter who is on your team. but you do change up how you play. I think we also have the rare advantage of knowing exactly how everybody on the other team plays too. And I'm sure you'll see this when you get to the higher level play in the wild as well. But I know the strategies that my teammates are using, but also what the other team's going to be doing. So it's a lot of fun with our internal play tests. But I do hop on live servers as well a lot, and it's fun just to solo play and solo queue as well. I do that just to kind of relax. I don't know if I'd jump in and expect to be completely competitive. Sometimes you get a great team that communicates well. So I think you can do all of it. We do have, you can queue up, you get in a lobby code, you can join together with friends really easily. And so I think it's just a great way to socialize as well and just chill.
Yeah, I love using VR to socialize with people. It really does close the gap and make you feel like you're there, like sharing space with each other. And, I think we all know that. That's why we're all invested in VR right now. But to go back a little bit about kind of the strategies and stuff, at this point in the game, like, do you see a meta forming, right? Like, are you guys having conversations internally? Be like, okay, like that people are using that a little much, like, do you how's the balancing process been for you guys so far?
It's been good. I think right out of the gate, we actually had, I think a pretty good set right out of the gate. But of course, there's going to be little bits here and there. But the way we could kind of tell we were getting pretty close at first was that everybody complained. Everybody complained about each character. So every one of them was OP or underpowered. Yes. Depends on who you're playing or who you're playing against. And so that was cool. That was fun because you never really know. It's like maybe you miss one and they're just crazy overpowered. We did have Kalima. I was mentioning her dual SMGs early on. She was a bit overpowered, and we brought that down, but in line with what we expected her to be doing. And there's little tweaks here and there, and that's exactly what I expect out of a game like this. It's an evolving product. The meta, like you said, is going to evolve as we see new tactics come out as well.
Right.
But so far, it's been cool to see what the community's been doing with it, and I think the real key is the comps. That's when it's going to where that's going to be like taking it to another level, and we may have to figure out some tweaks for the meta there.
5 arcs go out there and just slide on everybody and can't be touched, and people finding weird broken combos and things like that.
Yeah, although I think I don't know if there's any combo right now that can't be countered by skilled players with another combo. It's pretty good. That
speaks to evidence that you might have a good game on your hands when you realize, hey, you know what? This is working. It's pretty good. So is there something that you notice that a majority of the community kind of misses, and once they get that vital piece of information, things kind of click? Is there one really good tip that you feel like you should give to maybe new players or beginning players?
Oh man, yeah. First of all, hop in our Discord and check out our frequently asked questions. That's a key there. But people jump in and they have trouble with VOD. Yeah. So VOD is the big mushroom guy who just punches everybody. Really good counter to him is Evander. Throw down some traps, he can't touch you. He's just a teddy bear at that point with arms trying to give you a hug, but he just can't get to you. You just got to learn how to play against them and use your overcharge, take them down, look for the weak points. There's a big list of stuff. It's a pretty deep game, and talk to other players and find out what works.
That is definitely good advice. Talking to other players in the community is definitely the best way, in my opinion, to figure out how to play and how to get comfortable into a game. When I found out that VOD's Mohawk is a weak point, that blew my mind. I was like, oh, man, I should be aiming exclusively at that, right? I am right?
Yeah, for sure. And overcharge does way more damage on it. So you gotta save your overcharge for when a VOD is charging you, and then you can just drop him really quick. It's great.
So RobynzReality has come into the chat with a super chat, which is really exciting.
Oh, heck yeah.
Hello, Robin, and thank you for the super chat. And she wants to ask a question. And she's wondering, being that you are playing a multiplayer game and everyone is out there communicating and interacting with each other, how are the developers on the team ensuring safe play spaces against bullying? And are there any kind of block or report features, or is it easy to find new players?
Yeah, absolutely. It's important in any multiplayer game to have a good community. And we knew, as we're on the Oculus platform, there's a lot of ways to report and block through the Oculus platform. And it's really important that we do that and keep a good community there. It's really important to have community advocates as well. And we've got a lot of really good players who are making sure that it's a positive play space. And hopping in Discord, getting to know people, making sure that you have those positive connections as well, getting in there like that. Of course, we do have some built-in game things as well, like being able to mute players. That's always important, even if it's not just
right.
You just don't want to listen to the dog barking. There's stuff like that. And then we do have ways for you to just choose who you play with by using lobby codes and stuff like that as well. So if you've got a crew that you always just want to run with and don't want to deal with, random people doing random things, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
A really important question. And I think that's a really good, a reflection of the VR community. It's relatively small compared to the PC community. And I just want to make sure that, we're all doing what we can to keep it really positive and a welcoming place for new players.
That's really appreciated because never before in history has that been so important to do. Virtual reality provides a sense of presence that is just unbelievably close to reality for the technology that we're using. Like when someone gets in your face, you back up. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of communities out there, multiplayer game, VR game communities that basically like give these good games a bad name because you can almost expect that you're going to have that kind of behavior when you just load into a random lobby. When you guys release the game, is it kind of this like crossing your fingers kind of thing, like praying that everyone just stays nice? like how's that experience been?
You always hope for that, but also I think the style of game we're making. It's we set out to make a lighthearted take on the hero shooter. So we just hope that players bring that lightheartedness to the game with them as well. And it's community management as well, and looking at making sure that people are having a good time. And I think generally people want to have fun and want to do this stuff. So. Just supporting that wherever we can.
That's fantastic. What can you share about the roadmap? What are the next exciting features that players can look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, like you just mentioned, we do have a roadmap, and it's published. You can see that we have a very large update coming. It's the fall update, and I can't tell you too much more than what's already on our roadmap, but you can see that we do have a new map and a new mode and a new character on there. And that's a lot of content. It's very exciting. I can't wait to share more, but at the moment, that's all I can say.
So it's more than just a new map and a new character. Maybe some balance changes, right? Maybe a new feature or a new game mechanic. Who knows? But stay tuned to where do you guys update? On your Discord?
We'll announce it everywhere. Discord, Facebook, but hop into Discord, chat with us, and we got a lot of our developers on there too, and you can hang out.
Yeah, I love it. What are you thinking, Skiva?
Cool. I'm thinking I want to go play some Larcenauts right now. Bye, guys. We're going to play some Larcenauts.
All right, Greg. So I guess we should maybe think about wrapping this up. Who's your character? Who's the go-to?
Oh man, I play Chi a lot. I also play Evander. Two of my favorites. Try them both out for sure.
I was playing Arc, dude. I was loving that Arc. Great. Just sliding around like crazy, man. You can't hit me. You can't. Yeah. You can't kill me.
Yeah.
It's too good. I could see you as a VOD, Skiva.
Yeah, I do. I do like him. I like punching people.
Punch my monitor too many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's super fun to play.
Yeah.
Greg Corman, is there anything that we missed? Anything that that bears repeating before we let you go?
I mean, just new players every day. Hop in there, have some fun, and we'd love to see you there.
Greg Corman, founder of Impulse Gear, an amazing company that has brought us amazing VR games. Thank you so much for what you're doing for us and the VR community. Please keep up the good work, and we are in your corner. We are rooting for you, and we will see you in Larcenauts.
Thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
All right, sounds
Absolutely.
good. See
Bye.
you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, Greg.
Bye.
That was great.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Dude.
Larcenauts, man. One of the biggest multiplayer VR games in VR.
Impulse Gear.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, I really loved like PSVR. Like we talked about was my first VR headset. And getting into why am I spacing on the name right now? I'm tired, I guess.
On Farpoint?
Farpoint, yeah. Dude, that game really made me sweat. Like, for real. Like, I had to take the headset off a few times and be like, oh my God, I can't even handle this right now.
Dude, and it's like a movie. There's like a
It is.
really good story. And I mean, I know we were just talking about Larcenauts, but I mean, when Impulse Gear announced that they had a new game coming out,
Yeah.
I was so hyped because Farpoint was so good. And if you haven't played Farpoint on PSVR, and whenever you like see a PSVR on Craigslist or offer up or whatever for like $100, scoop it just to play Farpoint. Seriously, it's that good.
It is. It's good stuff.
So PSVR, right? We've been talking about it, and it's still pretty good. You know, it's a little blurry, right? The inputs are not as dynamic as your controllers, your touch controllers on the Quest, or or your index controllers, right? But it's still doing work over there, right? Especially for specific types of games. You know, like the moves were kind of a pain in the ass to use for Skyrim, but I actually got really good at it. But still, you have to like, if I had to go back to that right now, it would be like learning the language again. You know, like it's not intuitive at all.
Yeah. And depends really on the game that's implemented the movement system, right? Like I talked about Fract on the last episode, and they really made it intuitive, and they did a great job with making those move controllers not obnoxious to use.
Well, there are a few games where the move controller makes perfect sense, right? And one of them, of course, is Beat Saber, because you're like holding a sword in your hand or whatever. And another one, frankly, is a game that is often brought up in the same conversation, and that is Synth Riders.
Yes.
Synth Riders is available to be played on the PSVR. It's on Quest. It's on PC VR. It is, I don't know, arguably the most popular rhythm game in the shadow of Beat Saber. If
I think it is, man. I mean, I really enjoy it.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. And, we made a mixed reality video for the bHaptics integration back in the day. And that has been my most like upvoted and liked bHaptics promotional video.
Oh, that's cool. That's good to know, man. I had a lot of fun making that video with you.
Yeah, that was great. And the reason why I forced this conversation into this is because Synth Riders is actually a part of our Virtual Athletics League event, Summer Games. And
I suppose we should bring on our Synth Riders guest.
We have someone from the Synth Riders team, everybody. And we are going to bring on Anne-Marie Bartholomew, Anne-Marie Whirl Bartholomew. She's Whirl42 on Twitter, and she's the community manager for Synth Riders, and I believe Cluj Interactive, but I'm going to get some the specifics on that. So, hello, Anne-Marie. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi. How are you going? Good to meet you both.
Yes, this is fantastic.
You as well.
Thank you so much for joining us. Anne-Marie Bartholomew. That's how you say that, right?
Close. It's a big mouthful of a surname. It's Bartholomeus, but everyone just call me Whirl. Seriously, just call me Whirl. It's much shorter.
Whirl.
Wow. Sounds Greek. Am I close there? I am
German.
Okay.
Bartholomeus.
Because you can hear my German accent, can't you? Really?
Well, welcome, Whirl, to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here. You are the community manager. Now, is this for Cluj Interactive, or is it for Synth Riders specifically?
Well, Synth Riders specifically being Kluj's first main title that we've got. We do have other titles that we're working on now that we're sort of moving in that direction. But yeah, Synth Riders is the lead product. So, and I kind of wear three hats. So product, community, and QA are my three main areas that I hang out in. We're all multidisciplinary.
Yeah. Typical community manager. You know, you can only use one title. You know, like I feel you.
Yeah, I know. I wear a stack of hats. I've got a really large stack of hats,
I love it. I love it.
I have many headsets. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Synthwriters is involved in the Virtual Athletics League. Is this the first time that you guys have been involved in one of these organized competitive things, or is this?
This is the second one. Actually, 12 months ago, we did the Summer Games last year, and we had a tournament. And our 3 world champions were crowned, and it was very exciting. So this time we're doing it again for Summer Games, and we've run our qualifications already. So that's already been whittled down. And for something different, we've got PSVR launched. So we're actually doing a PSVR qualification as well, which has been really kind of good.
That is so awesome. Before we pulled you on, we were talking about the PSVR, and when we were talking to Greg from Impulse Gear, we talked about how PSVR for a lot of people really is their entry point. I came from PSVR, so did Skiva. A lot of the people in our community started with PSVR, and some of them didn't start YouTube channels and spent thousands of dollars on equipment and stayed with the PSVR, So these are still people who are passionate about virtual reality. Do they just, don't want to spend the additional resources, or they're happy with what they have, or whatever it is. And they oftentimes feel like they're getting the short end of the stick. They're like not included in all these amazing, awesome events and stuff. So that is fantastic to hear that PlayStation VR owners can participate.
And I have to say, in our qualification, like one of the players who qualified top on PSVR would have qualified top 10 on the non-PSVR. So they've done amazingly well, given they've only had the game for a very short period of time. So it does show that the PlayStation competitors, once we go cross-play, the scores that they've all set will all roll in together really neatly. And that is our intention. We do want to go cross-play as soon as we can, and bring the multiplayer across to that as well. We have cross-play multiplayer is our aim, because that's the big thing about Synthwriters is we love the multiplayer. That is where so much fun happens. Social multiplayer is such a hoot.
Totally.
And we want PSVR players to come join that party too. And your point about PSVR being an entry point is so important. Like, I think about it as, the original instant on VR. People who come from PSVR, my PCVR, my background's PCVR, so I know what's involved having to set myself up. Like, I've got to power this up and do this and make sure this is all working. There is an attraction to me being able to walk over to that PlayStation console, which is sitting over there, and just go boop and have VR.
Totally.
It's like, 20 seconds from immersion. Yeah, it's fantastic. And and Sony deserve a lot of credit for really pushing VR into the consumer space hard. And it's so encouraging to see them continue to do that now. Like, to talk about PSVR 2, super exciting.
It's one of the reasons I'm so excited for PSVR 2, right? Because it's one of those, it's a system, you walk over to it, you hit the button, and you're in VR. There's no messing with it. There's no, that didn't work, reboot this, let's restart this headset or this base station. It just works. And that is one of the best features of the PlayStation VR, in my opinion. So
many people have PlayStations, and Sony's made it so easy to create content. Like, I got into content creation because all I had to do was hit record. Like, boom, there you go.
Hit that share button on the controller.
That's all you have to do. Done. And post it straight to YouTube. And like, there you are. You're a VR content creator. You're contributing. You're a part of the world. And that's all it takes. It's like the spark. It's the push. And it's there pushing millions of people. And it's awesome. So again, kudos and thank you to ensuring that PSVR owners don't feel like they're getting some kind of like subpar VR experience, because it's still compelling technology. And
it's one of the best experiences that I could personally think of to have on the PlayStation, right? Because the PlayStation, as you know, you have to be standing in front of the camera. You can't, really be spinning around doing things in Synthwriters. You're standing there and you're riding this platform and you're hitting all the things, and it is just the perfect. You know what I mean?
It really is. And like even in like Beat Saber, for example, I would literally, if I'm playing Expert Plus on PSVR back in the day, I would take all my clothes off, because my swings would disappear behind my legs and my shorts and stuff, and like the optical light would get blocked by my body. So I would strip down to like my underwear if I'm playing a really hard song, because I need to get rid of everything I can that's going to obstruct my tracking.
Well,
and in Synthwriters,
pro tip, ladies and gentlemen.
Pro tip, get naked. But you don't have to when you're playing Synthwriters, because your hands stay out in front of you. You're never really encouraged to like let your hand disappear behind you or like reach for something thing that's like way off in the distance or anything. It's all very like here and compact and comfortable. So it's probably like I would say it's like one of the games that makes the most sense to play on PSVR.
Yeah, I agree.
I like your thinking.
Yeah.
And it's one of the sad things about the way we had to port to PSVR was not being able to bring 360 mode across with us. And so that's one of the things I'm super excited about PSVR 2 being inside-out tracking, being able to actually bring that turning gameplay that we have, which is just so so crazy, being able to bring that across as well. But yeah, I have to say, like I've really enjoyed picking up the Move controllers. Such a different thing, because I do most of my playing on Vive, so I'm used to having the behemoth, the heaviest in class Vive ones. You know, I'm the only person still using them. So coming to the Move, it's like, it's not only is it lighter, but the balance is really different, and having the soft tops on them means every time I come to play those gold notes, it's like, yeah, there's no bruises.
Right.
No
Those
marks
soft
when you
tops,
smash your
dude.
hands. It's so good.
That is a fair point. It's like a nice cushy thing if you smack somebody with that thing.
Well, those glowing ball things, right? Like if you happen to catch them through the nose hole, it just makes sense because it looks like you're holding the actual ball in the game, right?
Yeah, right.
It's good stuff.
Actually, yeah, we did have someone in community who said we needed to change the colors to match the colors that you picked in game, and I'm kind of going, I like that idea.
That's
I
a
really
good
do
idea.
like that idea. 'Cause, I'm kind of agitated every time I catch sight. It's like it's not the right color. But it's been really good to get to know a whole new community, and they're a really different community as well, because they're a very long established community. They have their own way of being, which is very different to the Quest community and very different to the PCVR community. So each community has a different flavor, and they're trying to bring them all together.
Oh, that's so weird.
It's a lot of fun.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
That's weird. I find that so strange that like the community of PSVR owners like has like, it's like a different person. You know, like here's a PSVR owner and here's a Quest owner.
Well, yeah, it is wild, right? Because with the Quest, you can turn around, you can play that 360 mode. You don't have to worry about, even with PCVR, right? Sometimes you spin too many times and all of a sudden you wrapped up your legs. You know what I mean? But it's great on the Quest. I mean, that's how I prefer to play Synthwriters personally.
Yeah. And it's
different, and it's like you said, that instant on thing. So you get a very different kind of a player. So like a PCVR player, they're used to having to deal with technical issues. So they tend to be incredibly. They really want to help you when it comes to being a community manager or doing QA or problem solving. They really want to get in and get down and dirty with all of the details. And like, here's all my log files and everything. Whereas Quest is being that instant on. It's a different generation of player. So they tend to go, my stuff isn't working, and you have to kind of give them the steps you need to be able to get the info you need to be able to sort problems.
And I mean, that's
sort of
probably something that needs to happen.
between those two communities.
And that's probably something that needs to happen for VR to hit the level of like mainstream appeal that we want it to, right? Like you can't have, millions of people troubleshooting. Like these things do just have to work at the end of the day, So it does make sense that, as the numbers of VR grow, we start to see people who have that kind of expectation from their experience.
100%. Yeah, it's a really good, and it's been a really good stepping up process for us as a developer as well, getting used to how that all works. How does a community work, and how do you handle the different attitudes as they change, and how does your community change over time? I mean, Synthwriters community has been going since 2018. It's getting quite mature now, and how do you balance all of the players and the way they interact together?
One of the things that I think people love about Synthwriters is the variety of music that they can play. Like there are like a handful of very well-known artists that you guys have collaborated with, and there are people who feel like they're almost strong-armed into like EDM stuff when they go to play rhythm games. And I feel like Synthwriters does a great job of offering unique, different soundtracks, different vibes. You have that like Roaring 20s style pack and stuff like that.
And then you have the pack, like my favorite with Offspring. Hell yeah.
And Offspring is insanely famous and super, super huge. So I'm curious, like what are the responses like to some of these collaborations? Like, was it big for you guys when all of a sudden you're dropping self-esteem in Synthwriters? Like, did you guys see a big uptick, like a big surge of excitement? What's it like when you partner up with these artists?
Definitely. And I have to say the musical pedigree that comes from Kluge. So when you think about Kluge Interactive, it used to be a music magazine. It was originally called Kludge magazine. So that's the pedigree here. Yeah, a long, long time ago. So the CEO Arturo used to run this music magazine. You can look it up. There's a whole history of it on the website. But it was a music magazine. And then the partnership between Arturo and Abraham, who's our creative director, so Arturo's CEO, Abraham was a DJ. He was like a DJ. So music is at the heart of everything in Kluge. And everybody in Kluge loves music, really, really loves music. Forever throwing playlists around to each other going, hey, I've heard this artist, or hey, this is what I'm listening to this week. Let's have a jam on this playlist. Let's talk about it. And so your music is really broad. And so when we sort of go through this process of picking these different styles, it comes because we're always looking at different styles. Who wants to listen to the same stuff day in, day out? And because we're talking about this stuff, that long history of music is part of what we want to do. But all the music that we bring through needs to have one common thing, which is that it needs to feel good to play in Synthwriters. And so the mapping is all around what makes you feel the music that you're listening to, and really plugging that player straight into the song and getting the map out of the way. So that's how we sort of our ethos there. It's a little bit different to not just straight choreography. It's not just doing dance moves. It's you're playing the music. You can feel the parts. You're picking up different instruments and things like that. So yeah, it's cool. And then when we get an artist like Offspring or Muse, it really just makes that leap. There's a huge amount of pressure that comes from having such a big name, because you want to really do them justice,
right,
especially when you know, for example, that Offspring or Muse are going to play the song. There's nothing more terrifying than seeing the video of the drummer from Muse playing his song in your game. It's
That's
terrifying.
so cool. That's so cool.
It's so cool. Yeah, Matt Bellamy's like filming Dominic playing Synthwriters with the Quest on it.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, and knowing the same thing with Caravan Palace, knowing that they play the music, and they do play this stuff because they're really keen to sort of see how people are interacting with their music going forward. So yeah, it introduces you to a new group of people, and it introduces music to a group of people who would never have heard it. So a lot of people who may come to Synthwriters who may be younger, who've never heard of what the Offspring are, or never heard of Pennywise, or never heard of Bad Religion, or or Rancid, my personal favorite, Rancid.
Nice.
Wow, yeah.
Never heard of any of it. Yeah, Fun Bomb, Love with a Scar. Whenever you introduce these new people, like people who've never heard a genre, playing a map can actually change how you feel about a song. And I've had that personal experience so many times when we picked up a song and I've gone, I'm not really sure about this. Then I get a map and it just changes my mind about it. And so there's something magical about that mixing of movement and music that makes a really special recipe.
That's such a good thing to say. Thank you for saying that. That was beautifully said. That is, and it's VR. Like VR is really the thing that takes this shit to the next level. Like Dance Dance Revolution, cool, right? Like Guitar Hero, cool. But when you are truly immersed and like it's surrounding you and you have the headphones on, it's like transcendental, like my dad has like angel voices on a fucking playlist at his house now, like he doesn't listen to EDM, but he got a Quest, started playing rhythm games, and now he's like got these tracks in his because now he's connected with it in a completely different way. Mm-hmm. I personally believe that we all have latent musical ability within us, whether or not it's just as simple as slamming on the rain dance or you can shred on a guitar, but we all have the ability to connect with music in a very profound way. And VR rhythm games, it's like the middle way point between pretending and actually playing an instrument. Like the music is reacting to what you're doing and you're executing it. So it's kind of like you're becoming a musician without having to learn how to play it. And that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. You get it. I get it.
Yeah.
It is. And I sort of have these moments where I go, and this is my job. Woohoo!
Things could be worse.
Said, I have the best job in the world. I really, really do believe that. It's having that feeling every day of being able to jump in, be immersed, and go, yeah, this is such a great experience. So yeah, I love the process, and I love the way our players react as well when they jump into things like the experiences as well. Like when you add that extra layer, it's not just the physical movements and the movements mapping to the music, but then you add the complete visuals that match. Wow, that adds it. And you just keep stepping it up and up and up. Yeah. It's amazing.
Let's take that to the next level, right? Because there's a couple levels actually. Because when I first played Synth Riders, one of the things that I noticed was the incredible use of haptics in the controllers. How you feel those rails as you're going, and you feel every one of those collisions as it's coming across and hitting your controller. And then to take it up another level, you guys have integration in with bHaptics, and you feel the music and you feel that stuff like through your whole body, and it's just absolutely incredible experience.
Have you had a chance
really
to try it with the bHaptics Whirl?
I haven't. I did. I was like, can you send me the suit? I'm like, no.
It is
They're
epic.
not sending me the suit.
It is epic.
But no, it does. Yeah, it does get passed around the dev team. So the whoever the current developer is that's looking after the bHaptics integration.
Nice.
I think it's just changed hands. So yeah, I'm keen to have a try of that.
You should definitely like put your name in the hat for like a weekend at least with it, especially working so intimately with the game, because all of a sudden you hit the rail and it's like it is like powerful.
It's
really
next
does bring
level,
a
man.
lot.
It is really good integration. I was very surprised at how well it really, really worked.
And
It really connects you with it.
It's the only rhythm game, at least on the Quest, that is like readily available and good to go that has such an integration. Like you can just throw the vest on, boom, jump into Synth Riders, and right away, it's like totally immersive. It's completely awesome. It's really great to have a rhythm game like that has the bHaptic support.
Yep, definitely. And I think having had access to that suit, like it really helped the dev team to be creative with it as well. And to, those sorts of things are really exciting to our creative director. It's like, yeah, I'm in for that.
Right.
Like talking about the haptics on the rails, if I tell you that our creative director was a skater, was an inline skater and a very good inline skater, and things like surfing and inline skating are there again in the DNA of the company, that explains a lot. The moment I found that, I'm like, well, okay, that explains why the rails are the way that they are, completely, yeah. So,
and one of the things that you guys really have going for you over at Synth Riders is the live integration too. Like being able to have like mixed reality streams and like mixed reality videos and stuff like that. Like if you're a developer, you got to do this. It is so important.
It's critical.
It's so important. So video creators can express themselves the way that they want to using the game and make a video that represents how they feel when they're playing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Live. I don't know why every game doesn't have live by default. Like if you want to sell your game and you want to show people what it's like to play your game, you gotta have live integration. I mean, you gotta let people see what they're in for. And I think Synth Riders is one of the best examples of that for sure. I mean, it just looks great. It's a beautiful game. And to actually see people, I don't know that I maybe would have understood if I didn't play it myself or seen it with live integration, but it really shows you, exactly what you're in for.
Totally agree. Yeah. I mean, that was where I first started playing the game was playing it on stream. That's before I joined Kludge, was streaming back in 2018 in mixed reality. And there weren't many of us doing it at the time, but I've been doing MR for a long time, and I've 100% from before Live was actually a thing, the old way where you had to do the manual composition in OBS, and I 100% believe that if you can't communicate mixed reality, if you can't communicate what it means to be in the game, you're not going to get people to jump across that bridge into VR from being outside of VR. You have to have as many tools at your disposal to communicate what does it mean. And Oculus, they acknowledge this by making the MR toolkit in Oculus, like that's there integrated from day one for so many games as well. Yeah.
Do people use Oculus mixed reality?
They do.
Oh,
that's
a real question. I don't know.
Well, now, it's really gotten a lot better now and a lot easier because now with the Oculus integration, you also don't need a green screen. So,
yeah, but the quality is totally going to suffer.
Oh, yeah, I know. And it depends, right? If you're standing up against a wall or something.
But there are lots of tools that use the Oculus MR toolkit built in as well. So, for example, Live for Oculus, the Live workflow for Oculus uses the Oculus MR toolkit built in, so that allows you to cast that third person view. And I wouldn't overlook, like when we're thinking about, for example, TikTok purchasing Pico. When you think about a social platform that's involved in small chunk content creation, purchasing a platform, Facebook owning Oculus, it's no surprise that it's very easy, and they're talking about doing mixed reality as being the thing. So I would say their end game will be to be able to, I'm playing in VR, I stick my phone behind me, and I can, no green screen, push the button that shares my content to everybody. They're trying to make it as easy as possible to share mixed reality content. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are definitely people who do use the Oculus mixed reality toolkit. It's
that's good. I'm
yeah.
glad
Cool.
that people are using that, because I don't know, I saw it and I was like, cool, I'm gonna keep using Live and doing what I do. And
Well, you also have a PC and you have
That's
access
true.
to all that stuff.
And
so,
that's true.
You know,
That's true.
Yeah, it's
So-
definitely high quality. If you look at the people like Reality Mixer and Live, look at both of their workflows for the phone. Have a look at their workflows. They're kind of scary. They're kind of scary, and the technology is just going whoop, ramping up really, really quick. And it's amazing stuff when you sort of see it and it's done really well. It's only going to get better. It's not going to get worse.
this is true.
It's gonna be
This is true. I look
fascinating to
forward
watch.
to seeing where this all goes, right? With how we're able to represent what it's like to play these games by visually showing people, you know, through things like YouTube and things like that. So, yeah.
So we're going to let you go here in another minute or so, but I did want to ask you, you know, are there any like common misconceptions about Synthwriters that you'd like to clear up, or like, you know, like any kind of like good PSAs that you think are necessary, you know, something that kind of bears repeating, you know, something that's important about Synthwriters that we should mention?
Yep. The most common thing that people do, people always draw the comparison with Beat Saber, and it's really important to think about. They actually had parallel development, so it wasn't that one was first and then one came later. They actually were in parallel development, just one released first before the other. The biggest thing I would tell people, if you're playing the game for the first time, please explore the options. There are so many settings, it's not funny. If you're finding that the songs are not big enough for you, like you feel like you want to move more, scale up the play area. It's right there under calibration. Change the colors. You know, you can change the colors for everything. If you're someone who has color blindness, you can individually set note textures. So you can color each note with its own note texture to make it really easy to see what you're doing. But yeah, please just explore the options. Change your audio settings. Mix every single sound in the game. You can balance those independently. If you don't like the special sounds, if they're too scary, turn them down. Turn them up, turn them down, whatever you like. But yeah, definitely explore all the options. There's so many. We give you heaps and heaps of control. On the PlayStation, for example, most people should go in, if you've got a PS Pro or a PS5, go turn up the walls and go turn up that visual clarity options, and you'll get the best possible thing. But yeah, explore the settings. That's the most important thing. Explore the settings, explore the modifiers, turn left and look on that left panel.
Don't jump to conclusions, people. All right. Don't think that, you know, this is synth. No, it's not. All right. It's what you want it to be. Get into those settings, get your hands dirty, make it so it works perfectly for you, because they have put a lot of time and energy into giving you the options to make it exactly what you need it to be.
You got it.
Synthwriters is still a part of the Virtual Athletics League going on till the end of the weekend. If you've got skills, if you've got flow and rhythm, and you're ready to prove it to everybody,
This is the time.
this is the time.
Yep.
Get in there and get a high score, and apparently you can
These
even do
finals
well
are going
on
to be
PSVR.
crazy. The people who are playing are really, really top notch. And when it's broadcast, you want to see high level play. It's very, very exciting to watch.
Do you think you're good, people?
Speaking of high level play, we have Hey Falcon in the chat. Now that guy knows how to play this game.
Yes, he does. He knows how to move.
Yes, he does.
That's
yes,
the
he
important
does.
thing, you know, and that's
He
the advice
does.
that I'm going to give everybody about rhythm games is like, maybe play, you know, if you're self-conscious or whatever, like play by yourself, close the doors, lock them, put a fucking padlock on there if you need to, and let go. Have fun, move your body, let it out, because that is what Synthwriters is capable of bringing to you. So, Whirl,
got it.
thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us.
Thanks.
We're excited to
Thanks
see
so
the
much.
future of Synthwriters, and we're excited to see the high scores people put up this weekend.
Heck yeah.
Crazy. Thank you.
We'll be in
Bye.
touch.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Thanks so much.
You too.
Well, you know what we should do here is we should, is there anyone in the chat that doesn't have Synthwriters? Because we got some codes.
Oh,
Yeah, we should give some of those away. What do you think here?
yeah, sure. I mean, as long as people take them, you know, that's my
is
only
true.
thing. It's like, if we're going to
This is
drop
true.
them, somebody better like be on that copy paste redemption, you know?
This is true. Let's see. So they did mention to us here that these are for Quest, but if you really want the Steam version, they will exchange it for you. So just let us know.
But that's not going to happen, because if it gets put out there and somebody with a Quest can redeem it, they will.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So, I have a feeling we might have a couple extra game codes for Discord after the show too.
Yeah.
So if you don't get a code and you wish you did and you're feeling sad and you want a little pick me up, come and say hi to us in Discord and maybe we'll give you a free VR game. I don't know.
Ooh, who doesn't want a free VR game, right?
We started YouTube channels to get free VR games. You guys don't even have to do that. You can just come to our Discord
hang out with
and
us.
get it. Yeah,
We'll give you games.
it's easy.
That's all you need.
It's easy.
So there's a code there in the chat. Someone, if you could just let us know if you got it, that would be great. That way we don't have to worry that it went unclaimed. But if you don't have Synthwriters, man, this is your chance to get an amazing rhythm game with fantastic, colorful visuals that'll just blow your mind.
And it's got, and in my opinion, it's like easier to get into than Beat Saber if we're just going to continue to make the comparisons. But like, I think, Beat Saber might even be a little intimidating. You're like attacking the music, whereas like Synthwriters, you're like really like participating in the music. It's like you're not fighting it like you are in Beat Saber. When I'm in Beat Saber, I'm like attacking that shit. Not the case in Synthwriters.
Yep.
So somebody take that code, and Ashley got it. Sold me on the haptics experience. Yo, that's right.
Oh,
Beta.
sweet.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. We're all about the haptics. Drop one more in there, and then somebody else claim that one. And then if you want another one, come see us on Discord.
All right, we are dropping one more Synthwriters code. Man, I'm so excited for someone having their first Synthwriters experience, right?
And
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be able to provide that. Hey, Pabark, how's it going, dude? Thanks for being here and hanging out for the show. I'm glad that you're able to make it. Eric for President is here.
What's up,
chilling
Eric?
In the chat.
How's it going, guys? Thank everyone for coming today. Really appreciate it.
What the Shark also scrolling up and seeing What the Shark up there. If you're still here, thanks for being here and being a part of the Between Realities community. We have more guests today. We're not done.
We do have more guests.
We're not done. Like, we're going to keep talking to the amazing people behind some of these fantastic VR games. And I don't know, man. I'm enjoying this.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so next.
Yeah, are you queued up over there?
I am just about ready here to make this call.
All right, well, there is this is pretty new, isn't it, this game?
It is.
Relatively new.
It is. I mean, it's not super new. It's probably been out for, a month or two?
A month or two. Well, It's been out for long enough to get involved with the Virtual Athletics League for the Summer Games this weekend, and the game is called ForeVR Bowl.
Yep.
This is the immersive and multiplayer bowling game.
It is a great experience to hop in with your friends and all go bowling, right? Especially during a pandemic, you don't want to touch all these balls that everyone else is touching.
Yeah, that's just it. You don't want to touch the same balls that everybody else has been touching. And we are excited to say that from the ForeVR Bowl team, which is now called ForeVR Games, we have joining us the Chief Creative Officer and co-founder, Michael Doom. Hello, Michael Doom. How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing well. How are you?
Yo.
Awesome. We're doing great. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you for joining us on Between Realities, the VR podcast of your dreams.
Wow, look at that sweet logo behind his head there. Check that out.
Dude.
It's all lit up.
Ready? You ready for it?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Forever cool.
Man.
Look at all the modes,
Dude,
right?
stop.
The LEDs, right? Hooray.
You're going to make our monitors explode if you don't stop that, bro. Like, it's like I can feel the energy surging from that sign on the wall.
That's good stuff.
ForeVR Games is the name of the company. That's pretty cool. Is there some meaning behind it? How'd you guys land on Forever?
Yeah, there's 100% meaning behind it. So idea is we want to make games you want to play forever. Just straight up, like it's so. Yeah. And when we look at it, it's we've been we've been bowling. You don't play bowl, you bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've been bowling. I don't know. I've been doing it since doing high school, early high school, right? We me and the producer were in a death metal band, still are. And
let's
nice.
Go.
Yeah, right.
I'm a huge death metal fan. Like, not even kidding. I love it.
Oh no way, dude. So we're the Misfits meets Napalm Death.
Oh,
Let's
wow. That sounds amazing.
Let's go.
Yeah, right?
What's the name of your band?
Oh yeah, I'll send it over. I'll send it over. It's silly and fun. But yeah, no. So after we do shows or like after sets, we go bowl all the time. And so it's one of those games where you can spend a lifetime, just getting better at it and improving. And what is it? So when I left real world bowling, I was averaging about a 125. And so I'm like, you know what? I want to get better. How am I going to get better? I want to bowl with my bros over this pandemic. Yeah. So we made a game that you can play forever. So we have we think, right? The physics are close to reality to allow us to get better at it. So that's kind of where Forever Bowl came from, right? In the Forever kind of brand.
Nice. I like it. Do you think you're achieving that? Like after this pandemic and after you've developed this game for the past, year or two, like you think you're gonna have a higher average when you get back into the lanes?
So have tried it and totally do.
No way.
So we met for the first time, right? Because it was like a total hypothesis through this entire thing. So we're like, are we really getting better? Are we just blowing smoke, right? So it's like the whole thing I've been selling to everybody. It's like we're doing the Rock Band effect, right? When you play Rock Band and do like the drums, when you go up, you can legitimately play drums. It's kind of nuts. So I'm trying to do that with bowling. So we really tried to mimic. We went to a bowling alley, a closed down bowling alley, Kearney Mesa Bowl down in San Diego. Rest in peace. They've shut down, unfortunately. But we went there and we're just like, okay, how are we doing this, right? What's the proper mechanics for us? How is it going to go down? Fast forward to today, we had our very first all hands up in San Francisco a few months ago. And yeah, I rolled better. I rolled a 175.
Let's go, dude.
Wow.
Never have done that in my real life. Never. So I can say hands down for me, I became a better bowler by playing our game legitimately. So check. Go us.
Wow. So have you guys ever had an opportunity to put somebody who shreds at bowling in there, like somebody who can roll a 300, how do they adapt?
Dude, we try to all the time. So because I'm like a casual bowler, so I'm probably more what most of the US is where it's like I go there, I've done it like once a month, right? Maybe I go there with friends, I can roll on okay, right? I've been okay style. But I was really just one to get as many people in there as possible because when you you guys know when you're developing VR, it's the biomechanics by how you move and how we interpret it as developers straight up different comparatively to everybody on Earth. So my bowling style would be coming in, I'd hold up in front of me, kind of rolling. But dude, you got two-handed rolling styles, right? You have side kind of arm rolling styles. You have folks that kind of do a wider arc when coming down. So yeah, we put out an APB of, hey, pro bowlers, we need you. Come play our game. What do you think? So we really developed the initial throw off of Johnny 300 down in Kearney Mesa Bowl. So he was the manager and he was just showing us pedantically okay, this is where you're doing the spin. This is how much you put on it. This is the forces that get enacted on it. And we're just running through, rolling bowling balls down at 2 miles an hour, right? Going, look at the spin. See how it's hitting the oil there, right? And so, yeah, we really did base the entire throw on some 300 bowlers. But then after we launched this, get this. It's just, there's a whole bunch of folks that look at it and they go, well, this doesn't roll right. Why isn't it rolling right? So I go jump inside of it with the game, inside of the game with them. And we just didn't account for the rolling style. Right?
This guy uses both hands, or this guy doesn't. I have a friend who doesn't put his thumb in it. He hits just the two fingers and then rips that shit when he throws it.
Straight up. So there's dudes that come in where it's so the limitations of headset, right? So when you got this thing and when you're throwing, there's some bowling styles where they keep their hand away from the headset and so it loses tracking, right? Or when they do a release, it's outside of the view of the headset. So how do you account for that? That was a whole bunch of trickery that we had to put in our very first update because we went, oh no, people throw differently.
Well, and you are at a disadvantage, if I can say this, with the game that you're making because you're making something that emulates an activity that people are already doing. You know, like a lot of games, it's like, hey, here's a brand new thing. But yeah, they have an expectation when they go into your game.
They do. They really do. And so imagine the expectation of you roll 16-pound balls all the time and you got a couple of ounce thing inside of there and you don't think that it changes your throw. I 100% disagree. It totally changes your throw. It's like you just, these little micro movements that you wouldn't assume that you do, it shifts it like just a couple of millimeters. And the cool thing about this technology is we can actually measure down to like a dime of where the vector is going from your throw, right? So if you're just a little bit off, you'll get mad at the game.
But you're just bad. Yeah. Let's be clear. Yeah. You're bad, get better.
But you can say that, but they're not though, right? Because it's like, just imagine it's like, you get a 65-year-old dude comes in who's been rolling like, I don't know, hundreds of games, right? And then he comes in, he's just like a little bit off. And he's like, what's wrong with your game? And you can't tell him, hey, the controls are different. You're in virtual reality and you got to get used to it. So there's a little bit of translation to get into. How do you explain that, right? So it's our bad. So we got to fix it. So we did, right? So we kind of adjusted the game and, you know,
yeah. Do you feel like you guys are in a good spot now where you have accounted for most play styles and pretty much anyone can get in there and kind of feel good about it?
Yeah, man, totally. So from a we have users from 8-year-olds that we've seen some of our friends' kids go and play in it, right? They put on bumpers and they have a great time. But a lot of our really good rollers are the silver hairs, right? So the retired generation, so like 65 plus, which is nuts. Wow. And it's interesting. I got my father-in-law in it, and dude gets 170. First freaking time in it. I'm like, wow. He's a good bowler, right? But dude couldn't move. Like, movement is still a huge challenge for mass market. So it's like we've noticed a lot of users when you're moving from like point A to point B, they just don't get it. And so like, how do you teach that to a consumer who's used to like Wii Sports? So right. Feel like we're in a good area, right? But there's still a lot of challenges that we're still solving.
Totally. I mean, you know, and that's the case for anything room scale. Like a step in the real world and a step in VR aren't one-to-one. You know, like we as VR users, I think we get used to it, you know, like especially if you're doing something room scale where you're taking a few steps to the left or a few steps to the right, it might feel like I've only moved a couple of feet, but in reality, I've actually moved 6-7 feet, you know, like your brain doesn't, I don't know, it can get weird. So I can totally understand.
And then so here, let's layer on one other like data point, right? What happens when you're paraplegic or you're immobile, right? And you're locked to a chair? How do you play? We've thought of all that fun stuff. Yeah. So inside of bowling, you can play standing room scale, right? Like a total legit, like you can do the one-step method. You can do the, I'm going to sit on a chair and roll, right? You can do, I'm going to lay back and kick up, because this is how I actually play test, is like this, right? With my feet up and throwing balls kind of like this. And then we also support people laying down straight up, right? Yeah. Because I like inclusivity. It seems to be the trend of the current era, which is awesome, but I like everybody to play my games, right? So it's the more people that I can get into it, I feel the better. So we actually had laser tuned in to play with one hand, literally in any configuration you can think of. So yeah, it's fun. Here's the trick to playing laying down. Go on free locomotion movement, right? So do free movement. So just kind of like a smooth movement, right? Lay on your back and then hold a ball and then hold back and then press forward and just let go. It'll throw the ball. And then if you turn your hand slightly, it'll roll. It'll have a little bit of a hook.
Nice. So this is more like it's like more like a Wii game in that aspect where you're like just kind of almost gesture controlling everything.
Yeah, you can like play however you want to play, you know. This is great for, you know, I have friends that are disabled that will really, really enjoy this, I think. So this, I mean, who doesn't enjoy bowling though? You know what I mean? You know, one of the things that really blew my mind about this game, I went in here and I was like, I'm going through different, different lanes and in different bowling alleys and stuff. And the music is wicked good. Like there's real, like actual legit licensed tracks in here that you're actually jamming to actual music that you know. And I'm like, what?
Dude, totally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because it's like when you go into a bowling alley, don't you want to have it sound like a bowling alley?
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of our thought process on it. So we were really lucky that one of our investors was deep in the music licensing world. And I don't know if you guys have dabbled in that before. Oh my gosh, I love our partners, Sony, right? Chapel Warner, like amazing, love them. It's just, you know, the approvals are woo.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, you know, being people who create videos, right? We're always worried about copyright stuff, and we're gonna get, you know, dinged for this or kicked off for that, you know. So I was really surprised that that you had some real legit, amazing tracks in there, and everywhere I went, there were these, you know, there was great music playing. So yeah, awesome. I've always felt like I was in a legit bowling alley. So
well, thank you. Well, for our streamer friends, make sure to if you want to include the music. So the Moon is all royalty-free music, and so is the Tiki World, and so is the Private Lane. So a few that make it easy for streaming. Other ones, when you go and stream, you'll get the cease and desist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We didn't pay for those rights.
Yeah.
They're very expensive.
So one of the things that it really excites me about this game is the fact that you guys said it was inspired from your hangouts after your shows, and you have created an awesome place for people to hang out. I assume multiplayer was at the forefront of your thoughts during the development.
So here was our strategy. You ready? Make a really, really good throw mechanic, right? That's just like next level throw, that where it's just like, wow, that feels like a legit throw that has the depth of throw, right? Check. Get multiplayer in, because it's going to be fun to do it with friends. That's it. That was the strategy. Boom. Right? So it's like, how do we get like the best motion gameplay with Zynga Social, right? How do you get it so you can talk to people, have fun, give fist bumps, high fives, chat with them, actually feel like you're there? I kind of want to, I've been pushing on the team. I really want to get them to get the beer feature, where I can hold a beer and like it registers it and shows me what the level of it is when I'm inside of VR.
Come on. Keep your foot on the gas on that one.
Yeah, maybe if you throw too many back, right, your bowling is off and the throw was all wonky and weird.
I mean, it would just happen naturally.
It totally is, because if you drink too many beers anyways, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Tested that before? Really? It doesn't, like, you definitely lose performance after two beers. Do it in Rock Band. Play the same song, right? Have a beer, see how you do, then do one more. Guarantee that second time you drink a beer, your score will just like drop by like 20%.
Oh, it makes sense. Well, absolutely makes sense.
I'll tell you what, if I was developing a game, I would have probably had a very similar strategy, except for I would have destroyed everything. No, I would have done it the other way around. Like, for me, it's what puts me with someone, and then give us something to do. You know, like, that's the problem that I have with some of the most popular social VR platforms, is the fact that, like, you get in there, yes, it does a great job of pulling everyone together, but then we're all standing around, like, looking at each other. And it's like, okay, but, like, now what? You know, and having something to do with the people who you want to be in VR with is everything. And for me, before, one of my go-tos was Real VR Fishing for this. Because it just
it's a really good app, ain't it?
It's so good. And you just, it brings people together, and then you have something to do. And I can just sit there and cast, pull fish in, chat and bullshit with my friends. Like, it's so great.
Yeah.
So I feel like you guys are doing something very, very similar right here. It's like you pull people together and you give them something fun to do. And it's not just a simple thing here. Now it's actually bowling, which we're all familiar with. And no, it's an American pastime.
Yeah, some of the Discords I'm in for that I am specifically in to find multiplayer friends to play with. You know, it's always ForeVR Bowl, Walkabout Mini Golf, and Real VR Fishing. I mean, you know, this is a very, very good social experience, a great way to hang out with your friends, and you don't get sick of the same environments because you can change bowling alleys. You're always listening to new tunes, and even the balls are custom, right? You can have like galaxies in there and all kinds of really cool things inside the ball. Each ball throws different, like, you know, there's actual like a different weight and spin mechanics to some of these balls.
Nice.
So it's really, really good. I definitely enjoyed my time with it for sure. And I plan on continuing to go in with my friends and hang out in bowling alleys. And
good job taking advantage of some of those VR only kind of things, you know, putting people in those like crazy environments and making things flashy and weird in a way that would never be, you know, possible in reality.
Oh, dude, you have to double down on the platform, right?
Totally.
You got to make it fun for it. It's like you got to really accelerate. So yeah, so to that point, we're continuing support, and we constantly want to update this thing. We talk to our community all the time, so we love to hear feedback. We have a pretty thriving Discord channel, and really, what we're coming out with more social features, just straight up. So next one is we're doing a versus mode in Brooklyn, right? So you can join different teams and kind of do like that collaboration type of thing, where it's like I'm going to join a team and go against Team A goes against Team B in Brooklyn. Who's going to win, right? So yeah, we're trying to give more fun things to do while you're in there. There's a few other surprises that are to be coming out. Nice. Yeah, man. Some collection stuff, wink. Some secret stuff. We love secrets.
Yes.
So right. So one of the big things. So what I would recommend to do, the only thing in VR, right? So we purposefully made it so you could put your head into things. Like we didn't do a blackout volume, so we could hide stuff.
Nice.
So look in the next update. You're going to want to explore because there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to find. Because like, it was like fun making the environment. Go explore. There's different neat things all around it and interacts with.
So now there's literally incentive to clip through the assets in the world.
That's amazing. That's great.
That's cool. Do you know there's a really really popular YouTube channel? I don't know if it's still around, but called what is it? Like Barrier Breaker, where they like do that kind of thing where they like go into a game, like go outside of like the intended viewable areas and like kind of show what's hiding behind this wall, what's underneath this thing, what's, you know, look at this room that is still rendered but isn't being used. So I think that's kind of fun, you know. It gives people who are like spending a lot of time in there an opportunity to get weird with it a little bit.
You know, Walkabout Mini Golf, which is also a part of the VAL Summer Games, right? I didn't know, but apparently the whole thing with the hide and seek ball things where you actually run around the levels and look for the balls that are hidden everywhere is really popular, especially with the younger generation. So yeah, I mean, I think you guys are definitely on to something. It sounds like you've really thought about all of these different options and what people want to do and how to hang out and have fun. And so, yeah, great game.
Well, hey, question back to you guys. What do you guys want to see in it?
You know what I was just going to say? I even had a recommendation. It wasn't broad, but I did want to mention this. We like cheat codes. We have been like kind of wanting like the world of cheat codes to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe,
like Game Genie style?
Well, more like Konami code style, or a sequence of events that needs to be done properly. You know.
And fun fact, I do the cheat code section in VR Trend magazine. So if you add some button sequences in there or something that's worth it, maybe you'll get an article in VR Trend.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Wink. All right. There we go. I like that.
We grew up
cheat
using codes, you know,
Yeah.
like maybe unlock all levels or like, you know, something like
Unlock some special ball that you can't get any other way, you know, something like that.
Secret ending screen maybe, or fun, you know.
Change the pins.
But when it goes on forever, there is no ending screen.
Well, right.
Or maybe it's a secret ending screen and you have to enter in a cheat code to find it.
There you go. See, now the wheels are turning. That's what I'm talking about. So.
Oh yeah, we love little secrets. So if you go look at almost everything, I'm a child of the '80s. Almost everything is a reference inside of the game.
Awesome.
I try, and I'm a little bit of a DIY punk. Go figure. I grew up San Diego in the third wave punk scene. So I have a little bit of fun with it. So there's lots of lulls in there, basically in almost every ball and in almost every little line of text.
Well, I got to say,
Very cool.
I do not doubt that for a second. Your energy is totally infectious. It's been great having you on the show. Thanks for making a fun, awesome game made by a death metal band for everyone to go into and have a great time.
Heck yeah.
Playing. It's rad. And that's what we need. We need more social environments that are fun to be in with our friends, that give us something fucking cool to do. And it looks like ForeVR Bowl has made that happen. So thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Have a good one.
It was fun, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Have a great day. See you later, bud.
ForeVR Bowl, baby.
Good stuff. Good
Michael
stuff. So
Doom.
Yes, Michael Doom is a cool guy.
His last name is Doom. Like,
I know.
Of course, he was in a fucking death metal band. Like, that's just too.
Well,
good.
what do you say? Who here in chat wants to play some ForeVR Bowl and doesn't yet own it?
Dude, I dropped 2 codes so far, and they've been getting scooped up.
Oh,
and I think somebody else was
go.
still trying to get one. Who was that?
Oh, okay. I hope you're marking which ones we've given away.
Yeah, I deleted it.
Oh, good. Right on.
Yeah, drop another one in the chat.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Sweet.
I'm gonna put another one in there.
All right, let's see what we got.
All right, guys, get
here.
your copy paste ready. All right.
Are you doing it or am I doing it? You got it?
I got it.
All right, you got it. All right. All right, get ready for some ForeVR Bowl.
Boom. There it is. And maybe we can like set up a play date. I think this game would be fun to get a few people together and
oh, dude, absolutely.
run around in there.
Yeah. This would be a blast to have just like a Between Realities community night, right?
Yeah, I'm going there, listen to some copyrighted music, and wish we were recording it.
Heck yeah.
Actually, that's not true. We don't really record gameplay and like make videos.
You know, I mean, we definitely won't record the stuff that is copywritten in here.
Right.
That's for sure.
So how are you doing?
Good. I'm just looking for our next guest here. There he is. Let me just give him a second heads up here.
We have one more guest for everyone today.
We do.
This is another developer who is, of course, involved in this episode's sponsor, the Virtual Athletics League Summer Games, ending this weekend. So this is your final chance to get in there and compete and try to get your hands on a piece of this $20,000 valued prize pool pie.
Heck yeah. Boom.
That's right.
That's a lot of moolah. So here comes our next guest.
Now our next guest here is a one-man team of this brand new virtual reality game that is hitting the scene called Eternal Starlight. Please welcome to Between Realities, Dave Wallen. Hello, Dave.
Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
It is a pleasure to have you here with us. So you are a one-man team, Dave. Is this true?
This is true. Yep, just me.
You're the developer.
Man of passion.
You're the developer. You're the marketer. You're the CEO. Like
community organizer, everything.
Wow. So how has it been? You know, being a one-man show, making this game, and what are your thoughts now as you're kind of starting to see it come to fruition?
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic. Definitely some learning experiences going into the launch here. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, the response has been really good. The community's been really helpful. Lots of suggestions. So yeah, just kind of collecting everything and working on supporting the community and doing updates and all that stuff.
Nice. So the company, the one-man team company is called White Noise Games, and the game is Eternal Starlight. So why don't you give us like the elevator pitch, right? If no one's ever heard of Eternal Starlight, what can they expect from the game?
Yeah. So Eternal Starlight is like a roguelike. I call it an RTS game. You could also kind of think of it like a single-player MOBA kind of game. You basically have like your flagship and then other supporting ships, and you can kind of grab them as if they were like little miniatures and like just draw the path for where you want them to go. And each ship has like different special abilities, and it's a roguelike, so like every time you play, there's like different equipment you can get for your ship to put on it in different spots, and different upgrades you can make, and all kinds of stuff like that.
Nice. You mentioned it was almost like a single player MOBA. When I hear MOBA, I kind of imagine like the lane format, and like the path where things are pushing. Is that present in Eternal Starlight, or is it a little different?
It's more the structure of the game it's actually really similar to like FTL, which was like kind of a big influence for me. So it's, there's missions, and each mission has like, some amount of ships that you have to blow up. It's not really, there's no lanes or anything like that, but you have to survive the mission, get to the next mission, fix your ship, things like that.
So when I was playing this game, I personally got some like Star Trek vibes here, and I don't know if that was your was your intent, or if you're a Trekkie at all, or I'm sure making a game about space, right, that you have to be into space stuff, right? What is some of your inspiration here with this game?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a pretty big space fan. I mean, I like Star Trek, Star Wars, all that stuff. I don't discriminate really. But yeah, definitely grew up watching like Star Trek: The Next Generation, and like those moments when the ship is on fire and everything's blowing up, and you have to figure out a way out of it. People have also compared it to Ender's Game, the movie. There's a lot of stuff in that movie where he's like kind of grabbing things with his hands and gesturing, and the way you like kind of control the game, you can like the locomotion system where you can move around, zoom in, zoom out. Very similar to kind of how things were presented in that movie.
Very cool. I really enjoy this game. I think it's really neat that like you're 1 second you're kind of floating around in space, kind of like drawing your paths and saying like attack this guy and shoot this guy with this type of laser, but then you're able to kind of go into the ship, like kind of in between levels and stuff like that, and kind of get a feel for the cockpits of the ship, and then different enemies will come on screen and kind of like take over the broadcast, kind of like what happens on this show sometimes, right?
Yeah, right.
With some robot entities that kind of take over, but it's really cool because you kind of get that experience, like you're in a ship and then boom, like this this alien being is yelling at you and telling you that you got nothing, and that humans aren't powerful enough, and and then you get to go out there and blast them and kind of protect your fleet, and I think like the thing with this game, right, is that people are they're out in space looking for a new home for Earth because we broke the planet, which is very similar to what's happening now, right? so it's interesting to see, and I think you did a really good job with the story, and I really like the characters. But is there any inspiration to any of the characters that you've kind of brought to light here in this game?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of inspirations. I mean, I love Mass Effect. There's also, some of the older gamers might remember Star Control 2. That was like a big inspiration for me. It was an old PC game, but it had really great, scenes where you would talk to aliens and they were all different and wacky and crazy and stuff. But yeah, like being a VR game, like it was always really important to kind of have that immersive aspect where like, the fantasy of like being on the bridge of a ship and being able to explore it, and also like the thing that VR brings is really that sense of scale and like wonder. I always thought it'd be really cool to like have those ships that you're controlling and they're tiny, but then like after the mission you're in the ship, and you can see things at like the scale that they are and see how big they are and really get that cool sci-fi sense of like these huge battleships duking it out.
Scale is like the number one tool I think a developer can use to make a compelling experience in virtual reality, because you could play God of War or like Shadow of the Colossus all day long and never feel like you are really riding a fucking giant. But in VR, if you're standing next to a giant, it feels like you're next to a giant. Scale is amazing in virtual reality, and I am a huge supporter of using that as often as you can as a VR developer. I think it's the way to really make something compelling right away. Like you see the ship small, boom, and now you're inside it. Like that to me is huge. It really is.
Totally, yeah, and that's why it was important that you'd be able to like scale the ships up really big so you can kind of watch the battles at like closer to like a 1-to-1 size.
That's
and like
awesome. That's what I love about
how big
Demio.
they are and stuff.
In Demio, you can go down into the board, and then like things are around you. It's the same thing. So I've noticed that you have been working on this game again by yourself since 2016. Is that accurate? Damn.
Yeah,
wow.
It's been like a weekend project for me, and if I had time like before work or something like that, I would work on it. So like, I haven't like killed myself, but it's been just something I've just steadily worked on, every day, every weekend, since I started, and just I never worried about like, how long it's going to take. I just, kept working on it. It's been fun the whole time. So, I've really enjoyed the experience.
Wow, that's great.
Glad that people can finally, get their hands on it.
Wow. So this isn't just like, oh yeah, we need to get a game out, before the end of the month to like meet shareholder requirements or anything. Like this is like a labor of love and passion. And like you enjoyed it's like art, like this is like living, breathing art right here. That has come straight out of you. I think that's amazing. 2016. Yeah. That's
only timeline is just getting it done before VR stops being cool.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I think we'll see the landscape change in ways that will continue to be cool. But yeah, to your point, the brick that we're putting on our face might not be around forever. But that's what I kind of wanted to ask you about. You started developing in 2016. I'm assuming for Rift or Vive maybe, and all of a sudden, boom, Santa Cruz